Okay, today we're predicting the NFL 2023 to 2024 season predictions. So this is pretty much a recap of all the prediction videos I've done. I have changed a few, but so far this is how everything turned out. Number one seed, I do have the Bengals 12-5 because of tiebreakers. I do think Bengals have a great team. Their defense do concern me secondary a little bit, but I think Bengals do very well against other top tier teams like the Bills and the Chiefs, especially recently. So I have the Bengals having the one seed with a 12-5 record, and the AFC number two seed Bills with also a 12-5 record. I think they're the most talented team in the AFC, with a great defense and a great offense. So I do have them going 12-5, but Josh Allen's turnovers and Bills, they just can't really get it done in big moments. So not like a 13-4, 14-3 record. Number three, you have the Chiefs also going 12-5, but getting the third seed because I have them losing both to the Bills and the Bengals. Chiefs, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, I think they'll both be great. Their defense, I'm worried about, especially if Chris Jones continues to hold out, because I don't think their defense is that good without Chris Jones in it. Um, Chiefs just have not. Also have in the regular season, the Chiefs have not done great against either the Bills or the Bengals the last two seasons. So I have them getting the number three seed, losing the tiebreakers. Number four seed, winning the AFC South. I have the Jaguars going 10-7. Weak AFC South division in my eyes. Jaguars, I think they should have the most experienced team, the best quarterback, and the best coach in the or around close to the best coach in the AFC South. Mike Vrabel might have something to say about that, but they should win that division. I don't see it. I just see the Jaguars as most likely candidate to win the AFC South. Then you have your three wild cards. Fifth seed, the Ravens with an 11-6 record. Really, how well does Lamar Jackson do? Will probably how well the Ravens finish. I can see the Ravens finishing from anywhere from like 8-9 if Lamar gets injured early to like 13-4 if Lamar stays healthy and plays like he did early last season. So I'm splitting in the middle, 11-6. Ravens do have a good defense, but Lamar is a huge question mark. Six seed Steelers. I think Steelers have a great defense, and I think Kenny Pickett is gonna do much better this year. And I think their whole offense is gonna do better. I am slightly worried about their offensive line, but I think their team is really good, especially last season. Then you have the seventh seed, the Dolphins with a 10-7 record. They have tiebreakers over the Chargers and the Broncos for whatever reason. I think Vic Fangio is going to be great. I think they have the best offense out of the Chargers and the Broncos, especially year two into Mike McDaniel. Injuries are definitely going to play a part, but I can't predict that. Then eight seed Chargers also at 10-7. Um, Good team, but injuries always strike them, and they're just unlucky. I don't like Brandon Staley at all. Um, Broncos 10-7 also improvement from Sean Payne, but not good enough to get them in the playoffs. I think their defense is going to take a little drop off because their DC left, and I do expect them to do better, but not great. 10-7 is great actually, but not enough to make the playoffs in a competitive AFC. Then you have the Jets at 9-8. Offensive line to me is the biggest concern. I don't think they have a good offensive line. Skill position players are good. Their defense is good. It's just their offensive line. I know the Dolphins and Broncos don't have great offensive line either, but I think Aaron Rodgers needs offensive line more than Tua or Russ. So I have them going 9-8, and they do have a tough schedule, tougher than the AFC West. Then you have 11th seed Cleveland Browns. Offense they look great, but I'm really worried about their defense. Their secondary especially was not good last year, and I don't expect them to get better, especially with the same DC. Pass rush should be fine, but their secondary I think will be such a weak spot. And of course Deshaun Watson, not sure how he's gonna do. And then you have the Titans at 12 with a 7-10 record. Titans I don't trust in Ryan Tannehill. I don't trust the offense. Their defense, I think, lost a couple of pieces. Will still be good, but they lost a couple of pieces. I just don't trust Tannehill, and I don't think D Hop is going to make that big of a difference. Then you have 13 seed Texans 7-10 as well. Might be higher than they actually go, but I do think they have a young team. I do think the Miko Ryans will do good-ish. I trust in CJ Stroud. I like what they're building. In 14, you have Patriots at a 6-11 record. Um, Bill Belichick will always field a good defense, but I think their offense is bad. Offensive line is slight concern. It's depth. They just signed Ezekiel Elliott, but I don't think their pass catcher in a pass happy league is good enough. It's not and the quarterback is not good enough. So I'll have them going 6-11, and obviously have a tough schedule. Then you have the Colts 6-11 as well. They do have some pieces, but their coach is unproven. Their quarterback is even more unproven. So I have them going 6-11, and then you have the Raiders 5-12. Their defense is bad. They have a bad head coach. Jimmy G is probably a slight downgrade from it's a slight downgrade from Carr, and I just don't see how they do better than last year. So I have them going 5-12. And in the NFC, I have the number 1 seed belongs to the Cowboys, 13-4. I think people forget that the Cowboys actually went 12-5 and was in contention for the NFC East last year until the final week. And I do think they got more talented. They got Gilmore, Colts, and they still have pretty much the same roster. So they do have the talent. So I have them winning number 1 seed with 13-4 record. Number 2 seed and the NFC's West winner are obviously the Niners. Niners' talent is just more than the rest of the division there, more than the Seahawks, definitely more than Rams and Cardinals. They have an easy schedule, especially playing the Rams and Cardinals. Brock Purdy is going to be starting. I think he's going to do fine, nothing great, but they have too much talent. I'm definitely giving them the division win. You have the 3rd seed, the Lions, with a 10-7 record. Lions explosive offense, should improvement defense. Not a very strong division. I just see only really competition to me is Vikings. So I have them going 10-7. Then you have the Falcons with a 9-8 winning the NFC South. I think Falcons have by far the most proven offense out of the whole NFC South. They have a established identity in the run game, and their defense so far has looked good. So I have them winning the South. Then you have I have the Eagles with a 13-4 record, same as Cowboys, but losing a tiebreaker to them for whatever reason. Having the 5th seed, they should feel pretty much the same team as last year, but replacing whoever one of their pass rushers, who I cannot think of the name right now. Jalen Hurts should still be good. Their offense should still be really good with probably one of the best offensive lines. And Eagles should do just as well as last year. Then you have the 6th seed, Seahawks with a 9-8 record. I have them going the same as last year because I expect a slight decline from Geno Smith, but a slight improvement from a very young but I expect to be good Seahawks secondary. I'm still worried about the Seahawks run game though, or run defense, not run game, run defense. So I think their defense is only going to slightly improve their offense. They still have pretty much the same skill position players, but I expect a slight decline from the Seahawks, but still good enough to get into the playoffs. And they do have a good coach in Pete Carroll, so I expect them to win an in-game. Then you have the 7th seed being the Vikings, getting in with an 8-9 record. Offense is still good. I don't trust their defense though, and that leads to a pretty mediocre, average team. Kirk Cousins should be good. The offense should be pretty much the same as last year, but their defense, Brian Flores could do his magic, but I don't see it. Then you have the 8 and just out of the playoffs, the Bucks. Yes, I have the Bucks going 8-9. I think the Bucks still have a lot of talent. Todd Bowles is probably my biggest worry. I trust him. Baker Mayfield, I don't think he's like the worst quarterback. I think he's like a bottom 5, bottom 10 quarterback, but I don't think he's going to be horrible. They still have good skill position players. I think Ricard White is going to be good. They still have Mike Evans, Godwin, and I think their defense is still going to be good. So I do have them going 8-9. Then you have the team missing the playoffs that made it last year, the Giants, going 7-10. I just don't see the talent on the Giants. They do have a great coach in Daboll, and Saquon should be back for them, but I just don't see enough talent on offense or defense. So I have them going 7-10. Then you have the Panthers also going 7-10. They're just too young of a team. Their coaches just got there. Bryce Young is going to be starting. He doesn't have the best skill position players or the best running game. Miles Sanders could be good. And the offensive line is a 10 out of 10 problem right now. They did not look good in the preseason. Their defense should be still as good as last year, above average. So that's working for them. Then you have Denver. Then you have the Saints. Saints also going 7-10. I don't expect a huge upgrade from the quarterback position for the Saints. I don't think their offensive line is that good anymore. The offense, I think it's vastly overrated. The skill position players are good, but not great. I mean, I think their defense is also overrated. Their defense to me is just old players or like Marshawn Lattimore, who has not been like elite since his rookie year. So I have them going 7-10. Then after 12th, I have the Commanders going 6-11. Um, I do say that their defensive line is good, but I think their secondary is pretty average, and I don't trust their offense. Now with um, Eric Bieniemy, I don't know how he's going to incorporate the scheme, but I just don't see them offensively doing that great. So then you have the Packers also going 6-11. Their defense should be good, but I think they kept the same DC as last year, so I don't think their defense is going to be elite. Offense, I'm not sure what to think of Jordan Love. I think so far, I think he's going to be average to around average, like maybe a 20th ranked quarterback. So I have them going 6-11. They don't have, especially since Packers don't have the best skill position players. Then you have the Bears with the also 6-11 record. I think their team is too young. Their defense, I think, has to prove themselves. Their defense, I don't think has proved anything so far. And their offense, Justin Fields, I need to see him pass the ball. I don't think he's going to make that huge step everybody's expecting him. I think he'll improve, but I don't think he'll make a huge step. And offensive line, I don't trust the Bears' offensive line either. And I think they just have so much to prove. I cannot make them go any higher than 6-11. Then you have the Rams going 3-14. I don't like the Rams at all. I know some people have them going like 7-8 potential wild card. I don't see it. I know they have star position players like Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp, but they don't have anything else. If any of their star position players go down, um, they have no depth to replace them. Then they'll probably be in contention for the number one pick. And then the last 16th ranked team in the NFC, you have the Cardinals going 2-15. Um, Cardinals, they're just not good. They just traded away Isaiah Simmons. They just traded for Josh Dobbs for whatever reason, and they traded away Josh Jones. They're in tanking mode right now. So after Cardinals going 2-15. So these are my predictions for the upcoming season. So hope you enjoy.